Hey, testing, testing, YouTubers, internet marketers, we are live. Hey, it's Brian G. Johnson, and I wanted to create a video based on some of the stuff I'm going to share when I go into my internet marketing webinar with about 500 of my students and 300 internet marketers. Now, here's the thing. I see all kinds of people that are out there online, and they're 3 feet from gold. They are so close to the money, yet they feel as if they're so far away, and they will never be able to achieve the success that they're after. Now, I want to kind of do some stuff I wasn't planning on doing, but let's just search for internet marketing course. Number 1 for internet marketing course. This site adds tons of subscribers to my mailing list, and you've heard the cliche time and time again that the money is in the list. It is, by the way. Today my mailing list has made me close to $1,000, and I did that by shooting off an email this morning that I spent about 40 seconds thinking about. Now, what I'm going to share with you today, and this is just kind of one of the examples that I wanted to get into, and what I want you to realize is this. This video is really going to talk about how you can succeed. And as we get into it, I'm going to be mentioning in this video some mini courses and some information that you can access for free. Namely, my Lone Wolf Passive Profits Report. This is a free mini course that's based on some of the strategies that I'm going to go over today. I'll mention that site later, and you can go ahead and opt in if you'd like. It's free for the taking. It's based on what I do, but let's get into this right now because it's terribly important to your success. This is called Internet Marketing Meets Napoleon Hill, and you've heard the book a million times. If you haven't, for goodness sakes, please read Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. And I'm just going to type that in right now. Think and Grow Rich. Now, in that book, Napoleon Hill goes over some of the central denominators, common denominators that highly successful people have. And he has interviewed about 50 of the most rich individuals. And when you read this book, you don't kind of get the meat of the story right away, but he really instills some of the beliefs that are necessary to achieve at a high level. Now, one of the stories involves a miner that that headed to Alaska for the gold rush, and he sold all his possessions at home, and he traveled great distances for this opportunity to cash in on the gold rush. And he went to work, and he began to excavate a mine, and they worked and hired some people that know about fault lines and where the gold should be. And they were getting close, but they hadn't really financially struck gold. And as the days, weeks, and months went on, this individual began to get distraught at the fact that it wasn't paying off. All the effort that this individual had been put into this particular opportunity was not coming to fruition, was not being realized. And what he set out to do, he felt like it simply wasn't working, and he felt it was time to cash in the chips, to close down shop, and he actually sold the mine, sold the land that the mine was on. He went ahead and sold all the equipment that he had purchased, and he sold it for pennies on the dollar. And one enterprising individual came along and thought that, possibly they were close, but if he got some a different perspective on where the gold may be, that perhaps he will have a better shot. So the new guy came in, and within weeks he struck gold. He hired someone that knows, again, a lot about fault lines and where the gold potentially could be. And they just repositioned some of the drills right in the mine. And within weeks, they had struck gold. And that is the story that is in Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. And it's a terribly important book that you absolutely need to read. Now, I've been online marketing. I've been a full-time internet and affiliate marketer since 2003. And I can tell you that I've launched dozens and dozens and dozens, if not thousands of sites in hundreds of different niches. I've tried lots of things and some haven't worked. Part of being a massive success is failing a whole bunch. And sometimes part of being a massive success is knowing when you have something that's working, but you just need to continue to apply steady pressure. And that's the moral of the story with 3 feet from gold. Now, as I go ahead and I teach my students in my coaching programs, in my courses like Commission Ritual, Auto Content Cash, Halloween Super Affiliate, Rank and Pillage, and lots of other courses that I've released over the years, sometimes I see people that are 3 feet from gold, and it's so frustrating because what happens is they don't feel it's happening quick enough. And I mean, we're talking people start and quick within the span of a week. Now, what I'm going to show you is based on real statistics from real websites that I've launched. You're going to see some Google Analytics information. And these sites that I've launched are in incredibly competitive markets. And I want you to think about what I'm going to show you so hopefully you don't quit with your new venture. So I'm not going to be disclosing any domains. But again, I'm going to show you some statistics. I just pulled stuff from my Google Analytics, and let's get into it. Site A is based on a 2-word phrase. There are over 230 competing websites. It's incredibly competitive. The front page of Google is a who's who of internet marketing retailers like Amazon.com. Petco.com, Overstocked.com, and so on. In fact, there's not one small player on the front page. The front page is dominated by huge merchants, big retailers that have a lot more financial funds than I do. Yet here I am, I'm on page 3 right now, and I've been as high as number 12 on Google for this keyword I'm targeting, and I've launched the site in hopes of ranking for that keyword. Now, again, it's been incredibly competitive. It couldn't get any harder to rank, but I'm in this for the long term, and this is the kind of thing that I put some time and effort into it, and then I leave it alone, and I don't get crazy. I don't put really crappy content on it. Solid content, some solid links, and then I left it alone and I went on. Now, I launched this site prior to my Lone Wolf Passive Profits, and that's the free report that you can access on my site, Net Marketing Course. So I'm just going to pull that down here. Again, Net Marketing Course. If you search for Internet Marketing Course, you're going to find my site is in the top 10 almost all the time. And you can see right here, you can opt in right here and you can get this free report, and it'll clue you in on what that means. Basically, it's a lot harder to rank for competitive product keywords than it used to be not too long ago. That being said, I chose this domain, and it was literally about 6 weeks before I did the research on Lone Wolf Passive Profits, and I'm moving forward. And I want to show you some analytics. Okay. Now, as you can see, I've been as high as number 12 on Google for this particular keyword phrase that drives tens of thousands of searches a month and could be a lot of income in my pocket. And you can see here the traffic stats are, where is my little pen tool? I like my pen tool. Here it is. You can see from right here that we started gathering data on October 1st, and today is May 6th. So it's been online now for about 7 to 8 months. That's kind of a long time, and if you're just getting started and you're expecting miracles, especially if you target something really competitive, it's kind of boring. Look at the traffic for the first, 3 to 4 months. There's nothing happening. There's literally 10 visitors a day if I'm lucky on the site. I didn't fret. I launched the site. I got some great content on the site. I built some links and I moved on. Now, if we back up and we take a kind of a bigger picture kind of view, this is the same graph, but you kind of see the flat line here. And you can see how much the traffic is really beginning to ramp up. So what did I do differently? What did I start doing around right here? What's the special sauce, Brian? What is that easy button that you need to be able to do that? The easy button is nothing at all. I knew that what I was doing was very effective. I knew that what I was doing would allow me to rank, to drive traffic, and so on. And all I did was launch some quality content. I built a strong site based on my SEO tactics, and I continued. I built links, and now what we do is we drip feed an article about every 3 or 4 days. And the site has probably got 100 articles on it, and that's it. We're letting time kick in, and we're gaining Google trust. And what I want to bring to your attention is what I call the newbie quitting zone. And I'm just wondering if you've ever visited the newbie quitting zone. Like, what if you thought right in here that this shit just was not working, and those damn gurus, they're just not teaching anything that can get the kind of results I need. So right around here, you do something like you add a bunch of shit content to the site, you do some backlinking that's way too aggressive, or you put on PLR that's been posted about a kajillion times. All kinds of things that you could potentially do to harm your rankings in your site, when all you needed to do was just be a little patient. Literally, if you quit right in here, about a month later is when you see this upward trajectory. Now at this point, you're happy as a clam. You're seeing, it's working. Geez, those tactics that Brian's teaching is actually working. So be aware and do not let yourself get in the newbie quitting zone. What I recommend is you find a mentor. Find someone that is doing what you want to do to make money and copy them. Trust in their methods, trust in their ability, and follow their lead. Do it blindly. Ask a lot of questions, but don't change the recipe. Do not change the formula. Don't think you can outsmart someone who's having the success you want when you have got none yourself. Can you feel me? The newbie quitting zone. It bums me out, guys. And again, I realize this is a long time. This is 240 days. But what I can tell you is, again, remember, I'm launching a site targeting a term that is wicked competitive. It doesn't get any harder, but look at the results I'm beginning to generate. And I knew that going in. So if you target something not quite as competitive, you're not going to have that kind of a tough time. Now you can see the traffic is primarily from 89% of the traffic is from search engines, about 11% is from referring sites, 6% is direct traffic, etc. And over the past 6 weeks to 8 weeks, the traffic has begun to shut up, and the reason for that is I'm beginning to gain a lot of Google trust. And the more competitive the niche you're in, the more trust you need to establish. I had solid content on the site, and it's had time to age. Links that I've had have also had time to age. In other words, I went out, I built some links, and those links have been around now for 3, 4, 5 months, and they're starting to kick in. The longer links are online pointing to your website, the stronger they become. It's a wicked algorithm. And the reason it's wicked is because you want to see results right away, but the links you're creating today have very little weight. But 3 months from now, they're going to mean a little teeny bit. And 3 months later, they're going to actually allow you to see some results. And that's what we're seeing in this upward trajectory. Links and content have had time to age, and that's what's happening now. Site B. Again, it's the same kind of story. A very short domain targeting a two-word phrase. There's about 5 or 6 million competing sites in Google for this phrase, but what's important to note is the top 20 sites are wickedly strong. In fact, there's one domain. In other words, it's a site from a university. Incredibly competitive. And you can see here again, look at the trend. It's the same darn thing. You see, what's nice about finding a system that works is after you keep doing it, you trust it. You know it's going to work out. And over time, your traffic continues to go up and up and up. And that's what you want. Now, this was based on a learning keyword phrase. Those are easier to rank for. And what I'll tell you is I've just launched another site targeting another keyword phrase, and I think it's going to be easier to rank for than this site B. It's my site C, and I launched it about 2 weeks ago or so. Again, this is the same kind of graph. It's kind of like the big overview that you see in Google Analytics, visitor overview. Nothing going on, and all of a sudden it's been peaking here. Now we need to start adding a little bit of content. You know, we haven't really added one article every 3 or 4 days, and I think that's why it's starting to taper off. But I do know that it's gaining trust, the links are kicking in, it's all good, and it's really having an effect. And again, it's all about establishing trust with your visitors and Google. The content has had time to age. The links that point to the site have had time to age, and age is a good thing. So that's it. Again, you can get my free report at netmarketingcourse.net. It's a free report called Lone Wolf Passive Profits. I got a lot of free stuff out actually, and most of the time when I launch courses, I put free materials out to let people know that if you want success, make sure you're following people that walk the walk and talk the talk, because the sad truth is a whole bunch of people, they don't do that. And you need to make sure you're getting fed information that's based on real methods equals real results. So stop fooling yourself if you're tempted by those products where you kind of think this looks kind of a little too good to be true, because, well, it probably is. Hey, it's Brian G. Johnson. I'm out of here. 17-minute video. Hope you found it helpful. We'll chat soon. Bye now.